What's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary, and welcome to another week of magic. That's right, my friends. We make magic here on the show. Why? Because you're here, and we have some of the most amazing, if not the most amazing marketers in this community that I've ever met, many of whom are brand new and who are on the show for the first time, such as Kristie this morning, who tried YouTube University, didn't work the way that she wanted it to or wished that it would, like so many of us out there have gone through the guru gauntlet out there on the internet, searching and hoping and wishing and trying and with great intentions. But it takes the right information from the right people in the right environment to make magic happen in the entrepreneur world. Now, if we're getting you ready for a factory job or to take orders at McDonald's, a little less preparation. YouTube University might work. But when we're training you to be entrepreneurs, when you're getting ready to go to battle in the world of business, you need to be getting the right information from the right people in the right environment. And that's what we try to create here at Legendary, and it seems to be doing the trick so far. So with that being said, please help me welcome to Wake Up Legendary, Kristie.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Dave.
Hi, how are you this morning?
I am pumped up. It's Monday morning. I used to hate Monday morning, but now I'm like, I don't hate it anymore. So it's great. I'm ready to run.
Talk about it. I mean, gee whiz,
Right?
Mondays are, to be dreaded by the 9-to-5er, driving in after a nice weekend, football, this, that, hanging out with the friends and family, and then having to go into the office and start taking orders from a boss that you hate, hanging around your toxic workmates. And unfortunately, there's probably quite a few people listening into this who can relate to that. So let's talk about how you are escaping that rat race. You started out with YouTube University. Tell us how you found Legendary. If you feel like you found what you were looking for, how you got here.
Well, I did. I tried, I tried everything to learn how to do this. I was like, oh, YouTube can teach me. I spent hours looking on YouTube and spending time. And it's funny because my husband kept sending me Legendary for almost a year. He was sending me stuff on Legendary, my husband's. And
what's
he was
his name?
Daniel.
Daniel, another MVP. These husbands who are sending the wow.
Yeah, he kept sending it to me and I kept ignoring him. I was like, whatever, this digital affiliate marketing. Yeah, whatever, Dan. Like, I'm doing my thing online. I'm cool. Finally, I listened and he was like, Kristie, it took you a year. And I was like, literally, my mind has been opened. And now I have to admit he was right, which is kind of obnoxious, but whatever.
Say it again.
I won't say it again. I said it once.
Daniel, I got your back, Daniel. I'm trying to get it used to rolling off her tongue, but it doesn't roll off the tongue easy, does it? So you said it once, good enough. Okay.
So that was huge. So I finally was like, okay, what is this about? And I did the 15-day challenge, and I will never forget sitting there. We were actually on vacation, and I looked at my husband and I was like, Dan, this is mind blowing. I'm like, I never knew. I've been online. I left. I have 5 kids and I wanted to get out of nursing. I literally, when you were talking about going to your 9-to-5 and driving to work, I used to cry every day on the way to work, stressed out as a nurse, literally couldn't sleep at night. And I was trying to find a way to make money online. I'd been working online for several years. Dan kept sharing this with me. I finally did the 15-day challenge, and it was literally, Dave, it was like, I was like, wait a second. I literally can make an income online. It doesn't have to be the way, I don't want to wake up when I'm 80 and be like, what did I do? What did I do? I wish that I had done this my whole life, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? It's like we sit there and we stay in the state of just of complacency instead of stepping out. And when I finally did that challenge, it was literally like a light bulb went off and I was like, okay, I found a blueprint to literally, oh, and side note, my husband is a fisherman, and when he saw all the blueprints you have for the, like, you use the fisherman, oh, he was like, Kristie, this is like, we're doing this all day long. This dude's legit.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like that. I love that. I love that. So, have you had any experience with anything online before? Like, had you tried anything before, or was this really your first, venture in? Talk to us about if you had anything to compare this to, or if you do have anything to compare this to, or if you were just coming fresh out of the doctor's office, hospital, wherever you were working.
Well, I had done a lot in network marketing, and I still do some in network marketing. But as you know, network marketing is very different than the digital affiliate marketing. And so I had focused on that, but what you learn in network marketing is completely different than what I'm learning now. Like, I feel like
Right.
I'm fresh, brand new, because I'm almost having to retrain my brain from things that I had learned and say, okay, that's not really how I want to do it. I want to do it this way. So I feel like I am somebody coming kind of fresh, new into this industry, and it's super exciting. There's a lot of ups and downs. I've only been doing this a couple months, and there's times where you get frustrated because you're like, well, I see all these people absolutely crushing it. What's going on with me? And then you realize, no, it takes consistency. It takes hard work. It takes being that person that's going to step out and be different and not be okay with sitting back. It takes that person who decides, I'm not going to be afraid of money anymore, because I thought money was like a bad word, you
Mm,
know? So I was literally self-sabotaging myself. So it takes stepping out and saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the person that, can help my family, can set up a legacy for my family. And, you know, I'm tired of it. And I think that's the place we need to get to. We need to get to the place where we say, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of living crying on my way to work. I'm tired of having this boss that is a nightmare. And I want to make a difference. I want to make a change. And when I went through that 15-day challenge and then got the blueprints, it was literally like, here is how you do it, Kristie. Are you willing to put the time and work in? Here, it's here for you. It's like you gave it to me on a plate. Are you willing now to watch the videos, do the work, and implement it?
mm,
And
yeah.
I think every single one of us can do that. When I started, it's just mind blowing.
Yeah. Well, that's really the key is going through stuff and then trying, testing, realizing that entrepreneurship or building any business is not an absolute math equation. It's not a it really is trial and error and finding what works best for you within these boundaries. And if you're in using the affiliate marketing model, then there's lots of different approaches that you can take to do affiliate marketing. um, there's blogging, there's social media, there's creating videos. In our blueprints, we have lots of different strategies from lots of different platforms, and it's about picking a route and sticking with it and seeing it through. Um, and so, how are you seeing this through differently than things that you may have done in the past? And or how is this more aligned with your lifestyle and personality now, which is allowing you to have more flow and be more successful? Whereas it's clear going to a job, driving, having caps on income. It's clear about how that can be difficult to get ahead. But how is this business model? What are you using? What are you targeting? Like, what niche have you gone into? And how is this more aligned with your lifestyle, with your personality, etc., in order for you to be successful with this? How would you define and describe that? Why
Well,
this is working for you right now?
I would say it's interesting because I've used it in a couple different ways. One is, and I want to encourage anybody who is in network marketing. So much of what I've learned here, you can take and you can use it there. And it's phenomenal to me, the amount of things that I have learned to be able to implement into that to make my life easier, like setting up funnels. Nobody ever talked to me ever about having funnels. Funnels literally have changed my businesses. I love working in the niche of helping people make money. because so many people right now are completely broke and they are lost and they don't know what to do. Our everything is kind of a crazy, right? So being able to work in those niches, helping people be able to make money and showing them, you know, the potential that's there by creating things like funnels. I mean, creating ebooks. I have ebooks now up on Amazon. What? Like what? I made it, I put it up there, and now I don't do anything with it. Like it's done. It's literally just doing its thing. You know, there's so many things that we're taught. But what I love is being a mom of 5, I wanted more time freedom too. You know, Dave, it's like I wanted to be able to be with my kids more. And you know, when you get online and you get focused, and for me, with especially within network marketing, you're literally on your phone all the time. And that does not give you time freedom. That does not give you what you're looking for your family. My kids are growing so fast before my eyes. I want to be with them more. I don't want to be the mom that's sitting there like this all day long. Hold on one sec. Mommy needs to do this, you know. Instead, I want to have that freedom. So being able to learn how to create systems that are passively working for me once I do that work, being able to set up emails that are like, I set it up once and they're going out. I don't have to think. These are things that nobody taught me before. And I spent years, Dave, years trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. And then I came into Legendary and I learned these skills on how to have emails being sent out for me when I don't, you know, I do it once and I don't do it again. How to create ebooks and have them up on Amazon. How to, you know, be helping people create generational wealth. What are the things they need to do? You teach us those things. This is why my husband was like, Kristie, stop what you're doing and do this. Now, you need to focus on this.
Well, I can relate to that. I mean, I was in network marketing for years, and maybe they're upstairs or somewhere else. I've got boxes of business cards that I used to hand out, boxes of business cards that I used to collect, because I really thought that was the solution. I had handed out thousands of business cards, never got a single sale from it. And then I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to start collecting people's business cards so I can follow up with them. Now, I was onto something there. Onto something there. Yeah. It just wasn't quite leveraged yet, right?
Yes.
If you connect the dots to an email list, yes. I was collecting information. I was collecting contact information.
Yes.
But I wasn't yet really working in a leveraged, systematized way.
Right.
And so when I was still preaching the dream, living a nightmare, right? Because that's what I was doing in network marketing, and doing the 3-way calls. Everything required me to be present. Even if I was doing a 3-way call with somebody, I had to be on the phone. So I was constant. I wasn't just on the phone like this. I was on the phone like this, like listening and talking. I was also going to meetings. I was showing up to home and hotel meetings and things of that nature, driving around with the signs on my car as if, I was going to generate leads out there driving around, and I mean,
they're going to be like, oh, hold on. Let me
right. Here I am. I'm driving a, Ford F-150, 1990 Ford F-150 with more rust than paint, and people are trying everything they can do not to make eye contact.
Yes,
with.
Seriously.
I put signs in my yard. I thought, I live on a main street here, 9th Avenue in St. Petersburg, Florida. I got more traffic. So I put it, and every morning I'd get up and a homeless person had kicked my sign up out into the yard and the street, and it was getting run over. So one day, frustratingly, I was on the internet, probably looking at something I wasn't supposed to. Who knows? I was in my early 20s and fumbling around on the internet. And somehow, some way, I came across a funnel, a sales funnel. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what's this? And I had an email address. And so I put my email address into this person's landing page. And they were talking about network marketing. They were talking about generating leads online for your business. And I was like, well, okay, that's what I need, because what I'm doing isn't working. And so all of a sudden I started getting emails from this person. I'm going, hold on a second. Is this guy sending these to me individually, like writing them out? And then I realized, crap, I'm on a list. This is a list that he's writing this email and blasting it out to everybody. And I went, oh my Lord, because I started to think, what if I had 100, 1,000, 10,000 people on my list? How many people could I sell products to, recruit into my MLM? And I just took off from there. I not only started to generate leads, but I also started to do affiliate marketing. I then started to, market to the person that I was, which was a struggling networker, trying to generate leads, struggling, talking to friends and family, doing offline home and hotel meetings. I started to market to those people through Facebook ads, okay, through YouTube videos, through posting on social media. This was 13 years ago, before TikTok, Instagram, all the short reels.
Yeah.
I was blogging, doing things like that. But the point is that I learned how to take my business from offline, home and hotel, belly to belly. Anybody within the 3-foot zone was getting prospected. To move, I'm talking about, I was around some hardcore cats who were doing drop cards in Walmart, putting sticky notes on gas tanks at gas stations.
Wow.
I mean, those were the kind of things that I was being taught. And if I had a struggle in my business, the sponsor, whoever the upline or the company owner would say, well, let's get that list back out, that warm market list. Let's go back through Aunt Betty, Aunt Bertha, Uncle Mike, Uncle Joe. Let's call them again. Let's try to slam dunk grandma in here. And it's like, I had already borrowed money from my mom to start the damn thing, to buy $800 worth of lotions, potions, and pills. And so, so when I found this internet thing and the ability to be able to use, because what I realized was a email list was like an automated sales force that was just, I could send one message and send it out to people. I could even set it up to go out automatically if somebody opted into my list. I learned how to use video instead of always talking. That was a salesperson that was explaining my product or opportunity 24/7 perfectly every time. You know how sometimes you get on the phone and sometimes you feel hot, sometimes you're not?
Yep.
Right? But when I learned the power of using video, it just all clicked for me, because I was like, I can record this perfectly. I can even edit it to make it perfect. And then it can just play. And I see people nowadays complaining about getting 20 or 200 views on your TikTok videos or your Instagram videos at the beginning. My friends, I would have died for 200 views. I mean, 200 views, we're talking about 200 people sitting there listening to your message, and it's perfect every single time. And so, long story short, the power of these transferable skills that we're teaching inside of Legendary. Now, I get frustrated when I leave a restaurant and they're not collecting my email address. Let alone network marketers, and let alone anybody who wants to sell any type of information on the internet can use these core 4 models and the marketing strategies that we teach here. And sometimes I just want to shake people, but my friends, even those of you who are commenting frustrated and stuff here look, it's not an overnight success. It's not, but when this stuff clicks for you and when you understand that these skills and these strategies work, you may not know how to work them yet, but these strategies and skills work not just to sell Legendary marketer products. I know a lot of you are new to this, so you're just selling what seems familiar, and that's fine. But these are transferable skills that are much bigger and much more powerful than what any of us even realize, because they transfer to different products in different industries, including brick and mortar businesses.
Sorry, that got me pumped up.
Well, I'm ranting at this point. What comes up for you?
But you're right. Brick and mortar. I mean, there's friends that I talked to, Dave, that I was like, you guys have to do this in your brick and mortar businesses. Like, this could change your business. I know. I get fired up too, because it's exciting, and you can get down on yourself and say it's not working. But if you put these things in and you're consistent, it will work.
So describe your process a little bit of going through the training. I know you went through our challenge, jumped into our blueprints, picked your niche, which talk to us a little bit about your thought process around filling out or implementing that fishing formula business plan, where you're picking who you want to target, where they're hanging out at, what you want to sell them as follow-up, second, third, fourth helping. You talked about money and being passionate about helping people. Talk to us a little bit about how you've applied the business plan that we outlined for you, and why you decided to go into the niche that you're in, and then how you got started with video one, video two, lead one, sale one. Just give us the brief overview so somebody who's brand new can kind of understand your thinking, what you saw, why you're so excited about it.
Okay, so for me, basically what it was is looking at what is something that I'm passionate about. What's something that I really feel like with my background, who is it I want to reach out to? Who is it that I think I can help, right? Knowing where I was a nurse that was stressed out, missing my kids, crying on the way to work. Those are the people that I knew I wanted to help. I wanted to help those people who felt like they couldn't do it, who felt like failures, who felt like, as a mom, they were missing out, who were sad. And when you dig into who you want to help, that's when everything changes. I really believe that. If we're so focused on, I got to make money, I got to make the sale, I got to do this, I got to do that. Oh no, I'm failing, I can't do it. If we focus more on that than we do on who we want to help and the person that we want to help, I think everything starts to plummet and we don't get anywhere. But when I started to really focus on, and that's something that you talk about a lot, like who is it we are trying to help? When we can focus on that and we can harness that energy inside of us, that's when we get excited. People want to be with people who are excited, who are passionate, right? I'm not going to want to go, I don't want to do something with somebody who's on a video and they're like, hey, yo, I hope you're having a good day. It's Monday. Woo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be with somebody who's excited. And I always tell people, I'm like, if you have to, listen to a pump me up song before you record a video, before you go live, before you do something. Listen to something that's going to get you in that mindset that's going to be there to help people, a motivational post, whatever it is, right? So I focused on that. Who is it first that I want to help? And then how am I going to reach those people? Where do I find those people, right? Where are those people hanging out? So really looking at, okay, this is the amount of time I want to allot to this. I no longer want to spend 12 hours a day working a business, because that's not the point of what I'm doing. So how can I now do this? So by learning the skills, like, having automated emails going out, having pre-recorded videos, setting up things like that, by doing these things, I'm allowing myself now a couple hours a day rather than 12 hours a day, where it's, okay, mommy's working now, a couple hours a day. And by being passionate about it, and please, if you're listening to this, follow through and do every day of the 15-day challenge. Every single day. Listen to every single video. Do every single step that's in there. Because if you miss something, if you're not listening, if you're trying to listen to it on speed up instead of just regularly listening to it, you're going to miss stuff and you're not going to be able to get to where you want to get. And so I think for me, the most important thing is figuring out who you want to do, who you want to be reaching, where are those people at, and then implementing all of these things and putting the time in. It's not going to happen overnight, but I promise you, like, Dave, what you have put together is so powerful. I don't care what other little things you can find out there. This is so powerful. And the fact that you update it all the time too, guys, you're not getting information here that's like 2 years old. Things are constantly being updated so that, something changed on Instagram, we get it updated. Like, it's just, that's what makes me passionate, because I know that this can work for people. And I know this can get those people out of those awful situations that they're in right now. And I want to encourage whoever is listening to this right now, and you might be on that Monday morning and you are broken and you are ready, you're in tears maybe listening to this, and you're like, I need to do something. Please consider jumping in with this, because I'm telling you right now, it literally can change your life. And I am that passionate about it. And I can tell you my husband is too, because that's why he said it to me for over a year. It's literally life-changing stuff.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Daniel once again. He's a great support person in your support system. And that's really nice to have a spouse that is rooting you on. You are on fire, and you were right a moment ago when you said that If you're going to be the spokesperson for your business, and that's 99% of the time, we are the spokesperson for whatever we're promoting, no matter what niche, what product we're promoting, we usually are the spokesperson for that product. And having an attitude of excitement, having an attitude of, you're the entrepreneur now. This is a big mindset shift for a lot of us to go from not being a solution-oriented person, and really sort of at jobs, we usually say, well, that's not real. I'm just doing what I'm told, right? That's not really my job to fix that or to make that decision. As an entrepreneur and a business owner, the buck really stops with you. And that can be a tough pill to swallow, because it's like all of my success is my responsibility. And that's easy to take credit for. And that's what we dream about. And that's what we aspire to. It's difficult. All of the challenges and failure that I'm having, the fact that nobody's responding to my videos, the fact that this isn't working for me, this isn't clicking for me, I've not found success yet. That is also all your responsibility. Even if you're in an education process, even if you're going through some sort of training, all of that failure, the fact that you're not solving people's problems, the fact that people are not listening to you, the fact that you have not gained people's know, like, and trust yet, that is all your responsibility to keep trying, to keep trying new angles, to keep checking your attitude and asking yourself, am I playing the victim? Am I expecting people to buy from me just because I posted a video on the internet? Am I expecting success just because I bought something, right? All of that is our responsibility as the business owner. And that's very different from having a job. Sometimes I see certain people who just can't get out of their own way, who just can't drop the negative attitude and find a different perspective. And I realize entrepreneurship is just not for that person. We need our servers. We need quite frankly, my friends, we need our nurses. Every single nurse in the country can't suddenly quit tomorrow and become a business owner. We need people who just are willing and able to be employees and just not do a lot of thinking, but just take orders. And we need people like that in society, or else society doesn't work. Yeah, Dave Sharpe's, oh, wow. Are you saying that this doesn't work for everybody? I'm saying that the majority of people who buy any how-to information online make no money at all.
Yeah.
It's written on every single one of our pages. That's the harsh reality that no network marketing company owner was ever willing to say to me.
Yep. Amen to that.
Because we have to, this Legendary is the school of hard knocks. This is the school of entrepreneurship. I'm telling all of you, coming straight out of the streets of St. Petersburg, Florida, skipped over high school, didn't go, dropped out, never went to college, have more odds that were against me. The thing that I had going for me was I was willing to just not quit and take total responsibility for my results. Absolute and total responsibility for my results. And so this is the school of entrepreneurship, combined with the strategies, combined with the skill sets, i.e. the mechanics that we teach inside of our courses and curriculum. The reason why we do this Wake Up Legendary show is you can also have a chance to hear the mindset that's required in order to do this. And it is not the mindset that you came in with. It is not and what is the number one challenge that every single person has that comes in here? Well, they see people out on the internet who are living they're in their chapter 12, and you're on your page 1 of chapter 1, and you buy something, a course, whatever, click a couple of times, do it for a couple of weeks or whatever, and you get frustrated because you're not where that person who's been doing it, and you don't know what they've been through on the back end. You don't know what they've overcome. You don't know how many tears they've cried. You don't know how many times they wanted to quit. You don't know all that. You just see the glory, but you don't know the story.
Yes.
And the truth is that this is life-changing, and most people still won't be successful with it, not because you can't be, not because the blueprint's not laid out for you exactly step by step, because you won't get out of your own way.
Yes.
Because the attitude that you have is so deeply ingrained in you that it is easier to default to being a victim, default to saying that, this great how this will work for others, but this won't work for me. Your brain is broken.
Yep.
Your brain is broken. And that's okay. Mine is and was too. I have to fight every single day. I've got news. We've got people, family, and friends. It's hard to not get influenced by outside influences. Everybody wants us to be docile, obedient victims. That's what the government wants us to be. That's what the news wants us to be. Just sit in front and just get afraid. Be very afraid.
Yes.
Be very afraid.
Yes.
When the truth is there's actually nothing to be afraid of except your own shitty attitude, except your own victim stancing, except you believing that you're not capable of something when really you're way more powerful than you think. Here's my final line on this rant, is that the system and most gurus out there on the internet want you to believe that you need them to complete you, that you need them in order to be successful. And the truth is that you don't need anyone or anything to be successful. You actually already have everything inside of you that you need. You were born with it. You just don't know how to mine it out. So our role here at Legendary is not to complete you like some abusive relationship. Our goal here is to wake you up and shake you up to realize that everything you need to be successful is already inside of you, and you just need to know how to harness your own power instead of constantly giving it away every single day. All right. I'm a hat.
Freaking, if I had like 15 hats, I'd be like throwing them right now. That was like bam power. That's like everybody's mindset. That is the mindset right there. And I was there. I was in the mindset of, poor me, I can't do this. I'm a failure. Everybody else is doing well. And then we step out and we make a change, and we can. And that was so freaking powerful. Oh, man.
The truth is that you can be successful at anything you want to be successful at. If you want to be successful at network marketing, if you want to be successful at drop shipping, if you want to, now it may take more work. Mm-hmm. It may take more commitment. You may have to be willing to take a lot more pain. I know for me, if it's not that network marketing doesn't work. It's just that I honestly had to be honest with myself and say, I don't want to work it.
Yeah.
I don't want to work it. I don't want to chase friends and family. Right. I don't want, and look, network marketing is great, but I was in a company, my last network marketing company was a company where I used my internet marketing skills to break all the records in the company. And I went to the company event in Las Vegas in 2013, and they set up on a stage, put our whole team branding name and everything, and said, this is how not to do it. And I said, I'll never, ever, ever, ever be shamed. And everybody in the company wanted to learn from us, me and our team.
What?
It was crazy. It was crazy. A Japanese company sells filtration machines. If that tells you anything. Yeah. And so we broke every record, messed up the entire supply chain inside of the company because we were selling so many of these water filtration devices. We broke the supply chains because we were using internet marketing strategies to the same strategies we teach here to just grow the team, sell these machines, all this kind of stuff. And it wasn't the CEO who said it. It was some other jealous leader from another team. Wow. This guy who'd been in the company for like 20 years, and he was like, Ruby, whatever, times 50. And he was threatened because everybody on his team and everybody in the company wanted to learn how we were doing it. And he tried to throw us under the bus, and nobody did anything about it from corporate. And I just said, okay, look, this is you guys are too stuck, and your ego is getting in the way of your bank account. And so my bank account, it doesn't fit in here. This room's too small. This ceiling's too low. And so look, there's a lot of network marketing companies that are fantastic. They embrace internet marketing skills. This is not an industry as a whole. This is just an example for me of what's happened in my past and how I got to this place to where I became unapologetic about teaching these skills, because I have seen them change so many people's lives, and I have seen them and witnessed them allow people to not only escape their 9-to-5s, but also escape other dysfunctional entrepreneurial ventures where they keep trying to tell you to do something that honestly, I don't want to do. I don't want to market products and services to my friends and family and have my only potential sale be from my local warm market. My vision is there's 8 billion people in the world, right? So here's my point, though, that I was making a second ago, is you can be successful in any business where any other person is successful or a group of people are successful. You can be successful. The honest question is, do I want to do what they're doing?
Yes.
That's what we have. So we have to ask better questions. It's not that, because all of us have the capability, but I just got honest with myself and says, I don't want to do construction. It's too hard and hot. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this particular type of network marketing because there's too many crabs in this bucket and I can't grow in this room. So I had left that one particular network marketing company and then just 100% went into this. But I could have succeeded at that if I wanted to play by those rules. I could have, right? So we just have to be honest about what we're willing to do. And really be intelligent about, okay, is there any gotchas? Is there any, banana in the tailpipes here that are going to, and the truth is with internet marketing and what we're teaching here, there's not. We're not going to, once you get to module 6 of the blueprint, say, now you got to call Aunt Betty and try to slam dunk her in. There's no gotchas. The gotcha is between your own ears. And that's one of the things that why we do 830 plus of these episodes, to talk about mindset and rant and rave about what it takes to be successful and try to be honest about that. So what were some of your limiting beliefs coming into this? We all have them and had them. And how are you addressing them? How are you managing them and really taking them on head on, so you can grow and be successful in this venture, which is absolutely about mechanics, but you also know, I can tell just from talking to you, that it's also the dynamics and the mindset.
Well, mindset for me is key. If we don't have our mind right, we could go through any training in the world, we could do anything, and we're never going to find success with it. And it's really interesting because for me, one of my biggest struggles, Dave, was my mindset around money. And I didn't even realize that was something that could self-sabotage me or cause me not to be able to move forward in something. But for most of my life, I was kind of taught that money was kind of a bad thing. Not bad. We all need it. We need it to survive. We need it to do this and do that. But, money, if we get too much money, then we're going to be bad. And if we get too far, then, we're going to get greedy. And if we get to this place, and what was happening was I had all of these thoughts in my head around money. And what it was doing was literally stopping me, capping me from being able to create anything. And you know what finally stuck, Dave, in my head that said, Kristie, if all of the crazy people in the world, right? The greedy, angry, crazy people are the only ones making money, what is our world going to look like? Right? And I sat there one day and I was like, wait a second. Good people that care about people that want to do good things in the world need to make money too, so that we can actually help people and give to that charity or help that whatever it is, whatever you're passionate about. And for me, when that light bulb went off and I said, wait a second, and this actually, I learned a lot of this through Legendary and listening to these wake up calls, because I was like, if I can help, provide for my family and make money and help, my sister-in-law who's struggling right now, with her health, and be able to, like, what a difference we can make in the world. And when I finally got rid of that block I had around money and that mindset I had around money, things started to open up for me. And I don't know, like, if you're watching this right now, what your block is. It could be money. It could be, you're not good enough. You can't do this. I mean, we all have these different things. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough, whatever it is. Right. But until we deal with that mindset, that block that we have, and there could be multiple things, until we deal with those things, we are not going to be able to flourish. It doesn't matter what we do. So mindset to me is one of the most important things to dive into and address, because it's going to be so exciting, because once you start to deal with these mindset blocks, all of a sudden things start to open up in front of you. And it's not because people weren't seeing you before, but I feel like people are attracted to you differently, because now you are believing in yourself, right? You are saying, you know what? I can help people. It is okay if I make money. It is okay if I have a 4-figure day. It is okay if I do this. And once we accept that and we realize that, all of a sudden we start to put these things into place. We start to do live videos, and people are attracted to us because we have gotten rid of those blocks that have stopped us from having success. And oh my goodness, everybody watching this, please know that each of you has incredible talents and skills inside of you. We just got to get rid of the blocks that are stopping us from having that, from being able to step into that and have that success. And once we do that, you literally will be unstoppable.
This really brought up a powerful point for me too, as I was just listening to you talk about that, because the limits that we put on ourselves are also the limits that we put on other people.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And
Yeah.
when somebody is around you that feels that you're putting limits on them. So for example, a child, this is the most powerful example. Children can read energy. Children can, if a child doesn't want to like come to you or be around you, the reason usually is because they feel that you're putting limits on what they can do. And a child wants to be free. I know this because I have I have two small young children. I have an older son, but I also have a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. And I was just out to dinner the other day on Saturday night with my two younger and 4 friends. And around these particular friends, and I'm like this, my kids are pretty free around everybody because I don't put limitations on them. I just let them do basically whatever they want to do, as long as they're not hurting themselves or other people. And that includes feelings too. So like if my child says, like my mom asks him, I'm thinking about last night because I had a bunch of family over, and my mom had asked my son a question. He's like, "No, Mima," right? I might say, I don't like when people talk to Mima like that, or I will model, "No, thank you, Mima." But mostly, my kids are respectful, and most kids are. But people take their anxiety and project it onto children and try to control them, mostly because we're afraid. We're afraid they're going to hurt themselves, or we're afraid to be embarrassed, right? We don't want people to think badly about us, right?
Yes.
So when you take the embarrassment piece out of it, which is the biggest problem that we project onto our children or onto children, is them embarrassing us. When we just set that aside, now we've only got, I only want to keep them safe, physically safe, right? Because with a 2-year-old, your job is basically to keep them alive. And Right. So my
Yeah.
my son, we were at dinner and he just was working the whole table, just moving seats, sitting between my two of my best friends. They're a couple and they just have such beautiful energy. My kids love them. They just, my son was, moving in between them,
Love it.
laughing, hiding, walking around the restaurant,
Yeah.
not bothering people, but walking just around our table, walking over to the high chairs. And again, if I would have placed limits on the kid because I didn't want to be embarrassed, that's when you create bad behavior, because then they rebel. People rebel. They push back. They don't want to be around you, right? So my son wanted to move seats a couple of times. He moved. He wanted to go sit by. He was charming the ladies. Actually, is what he was doing. It was funny. It was unbelievably funny. He's about to be 3, and it's really interesting to watch. But he was moving from Elle over to Becca and wanting to sit over in a high chair by her. And instead of me getting upset and being like, just sit in your seat and, I just moved over by him and sat over in that seat. And my point of this is that you were talking about our blocks, right? And the fact that you had a block around money. And if you have a block around money, meaning that if you think that, rich people are evil and you place that limit on yourselves, you're probably placing that limit on other people as well, making them feel like they're not deserving of money. Same way that with kids, the reason why I use the kid example is because, if I'm afraid of being embarrassed with my son, I've got a limit. I've got an anxiety limit and I've got an image management limit, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm projecting that onto him. He is going to rebel. He is then in turn going to have bad behavior because I'm placing, instead of just letting him be free, and he always comes back around. He's just exploring. That's all he's doing is just exploring. And so the same thing with adults. We're childlike in the sense that we can sense people's energy. And the number one thing that we do with our blockages and our limits is project them onto other people. That's the number one thing that we do. And so that's why when you share your dreams and aspirations or what you're doing with your business, people start, oh, are you sure? They project their own limitations. What does that make you want to do?
I love that.
Not share it with them anymore. Move away from them. So what is the solution to this? It is to have an anything is possible attitude and a no problem attitude. This is the number one secret that I've started teaching our BPAs and sales and marketing team inside of Legendary, is that everything, for somebody who has limits and blocks, everything's always a problem. It's always a problem. Well, here's why this isn't going to work. This is a problem. I'm getting frustrated. It's just, they've got a lot of problems. So the solution is to have no limitations and no problems. Now, that doesn't mean that when I say no problems, that means having a no problem attitude. If somebody brings something to you, no problem. Like, for example, my buddy came over just on Saturday, the same one I was talking about. We gave a big handshake, big hug, and he slapped over my coffee on my brand new rug, right? No problem.
Right.
No problem. I don't want him to feel uncomfortable in my house. He's one of my best friends. I don't want him to. It's no problem. I have to think bigger. What's more important, my rug or my best friend's energy inside of my house and him feeling welcome? Same thing when I'm doing videos. I have to have a no limitation and a no problem attitude inside of my videos. So when people, here's how this makes people feel. When people are around you, you want them to be completely comfortable, meaning that you have no problem with anything that they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. And a great way to tell if you're an anxious person who's always projecting limits and problems on people, how do you act when somebody comes into your space, right? Your home. Do you make them take their shoes off? Now, unless there's a spiritual or religious or cultural reason, but are you constantly managing people? Are you constantly trying to control people? People feel uncomfortable in that respect. They don't want to come back. So we can do this same thing in our videos. the way that we speak about what's possible and the way that we show people what we think is possible for them is the way that we speak about what's possible for us.
Yes.
That's the way that we show them how we think is what is possible. What we believe is what is possible for them is how we speak about what's possible for us. So if you're on your videos and you are not speaking big, thinking big, talking about having no limits and anything being possible, and if you are all that's the first thing. That is the number one thing that's going to attract people to your content and to wanting to follow you and buy from you, is you cannot place limitations on yourself, because that is in one way, shape, or form telling them that you are going to place limits on them. The other thing is that you have to have a no problem attitude. And this works really well in sales because most people in sales make it difficult for you to give them money, right?
Yes.
You got to jump through a bunch of hoops. No, we don't take that card. No, we don't do this. No, we don't do that. Most salespeople say no to people more than if they actually kept track of the amount of times that they said. They make it hard for people to give them money. So the number one most powerful response that you'll ever have in sales and marketing is no problem. That's no problem.
I love
Why? Is because nobody is going to buy from you if A, they feel like you're placing limitations on them or you have limitations on yourself. And number two, if they feel like you think like you're making it difficult for them to give you money and you feel like what they're doing is a problem, right? People already feel hesitant. They already feel embarrassed. They already are skeptical. So your response needs to be no limits and no problems. And people will sense that energy from you. Those two items are the two things that will attract success to you, because people want to be around people who are thinking bigger, who nothing is a problem to them. And the other way that having a no problem attitude comes off and communicates to people is that nothing bothers you. Everything rolls off your back. You cannot ever let them see you sweat. This is what that means. No problem. Well, it might be a problem. You might have to go and sweat it out, but go and sweat it out offline, off camera, somewhere else. Scream it out in your pillow, but come back on video. And when you're interacting with your customers, and it's no problem. It's no problem at all. And that's where a little bit of humility comes in as well, right? Because what we usually do is puff up and say, no, this is the way things are under my roof. No, this is the way things are in my business. And people are resistant to the customer's always right. It's not that the customer's always right. It's that the customer can do no wrong because it's no problem. It's no problem. Nothing is ever a problem, right? And you move throughout your business with not putting limits on yourself, not putting limits on them, and having a no problem attitude about everything that your customer does. And it'll change everything, not only in your personal life. People want to be around you more, but it will also dramatically change your marketing and your sales. What comes up for you as I'm ranting this morning, and I'm sorry, I'm doing more ranting than usual.
No, listen, I'm just like, woo, like it's because it's powerful, you're not ranting. I feel like you're sharing what people need to hear right now. Like, this is so powerful because, like you were saying, no problem. If we put limitations on people, if we tell people, this is what really stuck with me. When you said people are already anxious, nervous, hesitant, those things. People already have all of those things, right? People are already thinking they're not good enough. So if we are projecting that by us thinking we're not good enough, right? So we're not dealing with that issue with ourselves, but then we're projecting it on other people. We get nowhere, because literally it's a cycle of people thinking they're not good enough, of people being scared. You also said something related to fear. And this is Dave, this is something that has been just, it's so stinking powerful right now. But I feel like a lot of the things that the blocks that we have, the blocks we put on other people, it all comes down to fear. It all comes down to us being afraid afraid of something happening, which then, like you said, we're projecting on other people. Other people are now feeling those fears. This is what is stopping people from having success. Yes, industry is not going to be for everybody. 100%. I'm so thankful for the people that do all the things that they do. But this industry is incredible and it can be for you. The issue is the fears that literally our whole life have consumed us. And until, like you said, until we can let go of those and we can give people the freedom, right? Because what is fear? Fear is keeping us captive. If we can let go of that, now all of a sudden we turn fear into freedom. If we can have that freedom, and then, like you were saying, we project the freedom onto other people, which allows other people to now not have clipped wings, but all of a sudden their whole life they've been like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. And now they're flying because they have freaking freedom to be able to get out and do the thing that they've always thought they couldn't do.
Yeah.
And so what you're sharing, I feel like that's not a rant. That is powerful, because this is what people are struggling with every single day. And it is stopping them from being able to live that, whatever it is their goals are. I don't want anybody to look back a year from now or 2 years, Dave, from now, or 10 years from now, right? And be like, what did I do? I wish I had done that. I wish I had done this differently.
Well, there's a graveyard full of entrepreneur dreams. It's as big or bigger than actual graveyards on planet Earth. And I think one of the most important takeaways from this is your sales and success are simply a reflection of how you make people feel about themselves. Let me say that again.
I'm writing
Your
that down.
sales and your success are a direct reflection of how you make people feel about themselves. And so if you make people feel powerful, if you make them feel confident, if you make them feel like there's no limits and no problems, then your success is going to be so abundant. And it's not about these principles that we're talking about this morning and most every morning on the show are timeless. These are timeless principles. Your sales and success selling cars, your sales and success selling furniture, your sales and success selling insurance, your sales and success marketing any lotion, potion, pill, any digital marketing information product, your sales and success are a direct reflection of the way that you make people feel about themselves. And if you make them feel anxious, if you make them feel afraid, if you make them feel, and again, we don't even have to use words to say this, you know, because I'm not addressing my own anxiety, because I'm not realizing that I'm dominating and controlling people, like the child example, you need to, if you want a great analogy, it's even if you're a parent, not a grandparent, be the grandparent that the kids want to come over to your house because you let them be free. You let them do whatever they want to do within safety boundaries. But the truth is that there is no child that's bad behaving. That's some bullshit that we make up in our own heads because of our own desire to manage our image. And this is some past generational BS that we know better now. No child is bad. When I hear people say, you know, the 2-year-old, you know, and it's the terrible 2s and the terrible 3s, all this horrific society systemic messaging. Your kid is bad because you're anxious and because you're projecting limits and anxiety and anger onto that child, and that child doesn't feel safe with you. That child doesn't feel safe to be themselves. That child doesn't feel free to move within their own skin, to just be themselves. Children are not supposed to read and write too early. They're not supposed to sit in chairs and learn the way that we try to force them and then test them in kindergarten, first and second and third grade. They're supposed to play for a long time. For a long time. And so the analogy is I need to make my customers feel like the most fun grandparents that have ever existed on this planet, that the kids can't wait to get over because you let them. I mean, I have I let my kids eat whatever they want. I just don't keep garbage in the house.
Yes.
You know, it's not like my kids go to 7-Eleven and buy Coke and candy.
Yeah.
They're eating what I'm giving them. So I have a pantry that all the stuff that they can eat at any time is right within their reach. Yeah. And you know what they eat? RX bars that are protein bar. They eat, my son eats a lot of pistachios. They eat a lot of fruit, you know, and it's just because you can have anything in this house. And I just make the house have everything in it that they can have. So I need to treat my customers the same way. My customers should want to come to my TikTok profile. They should want to come to Wake Up Legendary. They should want to come to my Instagram profile, because when they come, I make them feel like anything's possible. It's fun. It's easy to, when I give them a call to action, it's easy. It's simple. It's easy to give me money. It's easy to do business with me. Nothing is a problem. I make them feel safe and seen, no matter where they're at in their stage of solving whatever problem I'm talking about on my page. I'm speaking mostly to new people, so they know that they fit in. They're going to be my biggest market, people who are in contemplation mode. So I have to be compassionate. I have to have a no problem attitude. And if I'm that grandparent who, when the kids come over, they can do whatever they want, again, within reason, within keeping themselves safe. That's my job as a parent. If I stay out of my kids' way and don't project all my trauma and all my anxiety and all my BS on my kids will play their way to brilliance. Yeah. I just have to set up the environment, and we can do the same thing right on Instagram, right on TikTok, right on Wake Up Legendary. I mean, I do it every morning.
Yeah. Love. Yes.
It's a good analogy to think about, right?
I love it. The food analogy. Don't keep crap in your house.
Yeah. My kids are not bad because they want to drink soda. That I'm putting soda in the house or whatever it is, right? Again, I have control over creating my environment. And my TikTok profile, my Instagram, my daily show, they're all an environment that I create. I have total control over that. It's not like, and when you guys come in and, you know, some of you are like, well, I'm doing what I'm told and I'm not getting results. But you're missing the point about that is your page. We're not selling franchises here. I mean, this is not, you know, we're just giving you skills and you can apply it to any product, any niche. But you're responsible for the vibe and the energy and the environment that you create. And if nobody's coming to your TikTok profile, nobody's watching your videos or anything, well, it's like the kids that don't want to come to grandma's house because grandma don't sit on the couch. You know, what are you eating? Are you eating something again? Are you eating junk in there again? Well, grandma's got junk in the fridge. They're just eating what's there. Right. They're just sitting on the couch because that's what people do. They want to go outside and explore. They're running in the road because they don't know any different. Right? And if we project our anxiety on them enough and we place limitations and everything's a problem enough, they won't want to come back. Nope. And it's the same thing with our customers.
Yeah. Yeah. So stinking powerful. It's true. It's like our page is like letting someone into our home.
Yeah.
What's your home going to look like? You know, just one quick point. It was interesting because when my kids were younger, we didn't have the biggest, flashiest home, right? We had a couch that was kind of broken in the middle where it kind of sunk down and it was a little twisted. You could get really cozy in it because the bottom had broken, and the kids wanted to come to our house. And these kids, they had bigger houses, they had fancier houses, they had this and that. But my husband and I, one of the things that we wanted to have within our family was somewhere that people could come and they could feel safe and loved. And even if that little couch, you know, hugged them super tight, these kids did not care. These kids that had more money, these kids that had this and that, they didn't care. They just felt like it was fun and they were loved. And I feel like it's the same online. How are you making people feel when they come in?
It is. I mean, look at this. Jessica said, I broke a glass 15 years ago at my in-laws and they still talk about it. I mean, that's the shame in
Yeah,
the sort of the guilt tripping in the
yeah,
you have to play within these boundaries. Here's how we do it on my page. Here's that's somebody will that people are gonna be skeptical. People are gonna be curious. You have to embrace and make space for all of those curiosities if you want to be great at sales and marketing. You have to embrace the objections. If a child asks a tough question, such as how much do you make at your job, right? We can't say that's adult business. That's
yeah,
not hey, you're a curious little kid.
yeah,
You're smart. I've never heard a kid ask that question, right? And
yes,
it's embracing
yeah.
like our customers are like kids in the sense, not in a disrespectful way, but they're curious. They're skeptical. It is our job to make them feel comfortable when they're watching our videos, to make them feel like all their objections, you're smart for asking that question.
I
You see how
love
much
that.
of a frame change that is in the way that when we, if a lot of times when we get into sales and marketing of any product, they're skeptical and we get like offended, like, oh, you don't think this is real? You
Right,
don't, how dare you ask that question, in the comments, or we call them haters. And
yeah,
it's like, they're not hating. They're just curious. They're skeptical. They should be skeptical. If somebody's skeptical, you should validate the skepticism and say, you should be skeptical. There is a lot of crazy stuff out there on the internet. And you should be skeptical of everything, and me included, right? Let your eyes and your gut tell you whether this is the right move for you as I deliver some education, hopefully in an entertaining way for you to enjoy yourself while you're learning. And if it feels like a fit, move forward. If it doesn't, watch this. No problem.
yes.
You even say it. No problem. You sign up today, you buy today, you move forward today. And if you don't, not going to change my lifestyle. It's no problem. You move forward whenever you're ready. No problem here. You can come and go. That makes people feel like the other policy that I think is important in this. I love analogies because there's nothing more powerful in marketing than the perfect analogy. Always have an open door policy. What does this mean? Have you ever been to somebody's house who has a dog that the moment you open the door, that little shit just runs away, right? Why? Because the door is never open. He feels like if the door is open, he has to make a run for it. Whereas, have you ever pulled up to a house to where the dog's sitting in the doorway on the porch because the door is always open? The dog doesn't feel like it has to run away. So I want to have an open door policy where people feel like they can come and go. You
Yeah,
can, even here in Legendary, so many of us start things and stop. No problem.
yeah,
That's okay. We
yeah,
all do that. See how I'm doing it right now, having empathy for what I already know people are going to do. If I
mhm,
shame them, then they're not going to want to come back. But if I say it's no problem, it's an open door policy. Sometimes you have to start, sometimes you have to start over. That's okay.
mhm.
If you have to start over every single day, that's okay. You see, that's an example of an open door policy to where
So,
you welcome the people. It's not just if you want to get started today. Most people need to make a decision to start or restart with your product or with your message on a daily basis. So the biggest part of your market oftentimes is going to be the people who need to restart. And if you shame them and act like it's an open door, if they didn't do it the first time, they lost. You have to create space. We have to create space for those who are starting, but also those who are starting over
mm,
because life got in the way, because the kids, and then you add some empathy, you add some identification, because we all got stuff going on. I get it. It's okay. The kids, health, taking care of relatives, jobs, all these things, they take up space. Sometimes we need to start over. That's another example of no limits, no problems. You got me going this morning. You and Daniel, I think it was the whole thing where I love to hear about these supportive. I've had two guests on, you and Friday, where the husband sent the thing, and it's very cool. It's very cool. I'm very happy for you that you have a hubby who's supporting you like that, and you deserve that, and you're on fire. And his no limit, no problem attitude, doesn't that make you feel free and powerful?
It does. It does. It makes me feel like I can do it.
Yeah.
And if we can turn that and we can have that same attitude for people that are coming to our pages, it's just powerful. This has fired me up today. I'm ready to I am fired up today. So I hope everybody else is, because this no problem. I just think that's so powerful, because, you made a couple points about your friend spilling on your carpet, and your kid running around, and, just being a little ladies' man, and all these things. It really is because our whole life we're told, and that lady, she made a comment about spilling however many years ago, or breaking a glass. Like, this is what society does to us. And then we're shamed and we feel crappy and we feel like, wait, oh no. But to say no problem, that sums it up.
It solves everything. Even for those of you, one of my biggest missions is to make everybody in our community know that entrepreneurship's not a one-shot deal, meaning that you have, like I just said a few moments ago, you oftentimes have to start over every single morning. You have to pump yourself up. You have to, make a new decision. You don't just decide once and then success is granted to you. You didn't miss the boat. Like, the biggest challenge that I have as an entrepreneur teacher, somebody who teaches entrepreneurship, is to remind people that entrepreneurship is not a one-time event. Success is not a one-time event. And there's nothing wrong with you, and you didn't miss the boat if you decided one time and it hasn't worked out. It's that you forgot that you have to decide every morning. It's that you forgot that you have to do it every day, and sometimes multiple times throughout the day. And that all of the, things that you feel like are mistakes, things that that you feel like you screwed up, that you feel, it's all okay. It's all natural. It's nature. It's human nature. We all start things, stop things, procrastinate on things, have an undone to-do list. We all have those things, right? Entrepreneurship, it's not about the chosen either. It's about the people who wake up every day and just decide, I might quit tomorrow, but not today. I mean, that's how you string together clean time off of drugs as well. I mean, that was one of the most powerful lessons that I ever learned, that I'm not going to stay clean for the rest of my life. I may get high tomorrow. I may drink a bottle of wine tomorrow, just not today.
Yeah.
The same thing with your business. This is not a long-term commitment. It's a daily commitment.
Yeah.
So change your goals from being that I'm going to stick with this for 5 years, or I got to do this for the rest of my life. And what the hell are you committing to today? Because what you do today is going to build for tomorrow. If you have a successful, shame-free, guilt-free, empowered day today, chances are you're going to have another one tomorrow. But if you have an overwhelming day because you're thinking about all the shit you failed at in the past, and how the hell are you going to be successful for years in advance, of course you're going to have a shitty day today. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. Any person who does that to themselves would have a hard, heavy day. But it's not about anything that you've done in the past. It's everything. Here's another frame switch for it. Everything that you've done in the past has prepared you for today. Mm-hmm. Not everything in the past is not evidence that you suck, mm-hmm. but everything that you've survived through in the past has prepared you for success. Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? The world could blow up. We don't know. But today, I have an opportunity to choose how successful I'm going to be, how I'm going to make people feel. And days build on each other. Days build. Before you know it, if you focus just on today, you'll look back and have strung some successful time together. But any other way of living, that's also a no limit, no problem attitude of living, right? Because I'm not placing limitations about the future. Something has to happen within a certain amount of time. And my past is not a problem. So it's a no limit, no problem perspective about how I'm building my business. And the only thing that matters is what I do today.
Love that. It's not going to overwhelm you minute by day, and you're not going to feel like, I can't do this.
What advice would you give to yourself if you were starting back from scratch at the beginning of this journey, even just a few months ago? What would you remind yourself of? What advice would you give if you could sit down and put your arm around yourself?
I would say it's okay. It's okay that, you've had, you've tried multiple things and they haven't worked. It's okay that you felt like, a failure. It's okay that you felt judged and you felt, all these different things. It's okay that you felt that. What are you going to do with it now? What are you going to do with all those feelings that you had? If I was sitting there and I was like, Kristie, it's another scam. I don't really believe it. I don't really think it's going to happen. I don't really this. I don't really that. It's really like you were saying, it's taking it day by day, step by step, sometimes minute by minute, and saying, okay, what can I do differently today? How can I set this up differently? What can I do that's going to really, really bring me to where I want to be? And I think the biggest thing for me would be my mindset and really focusing on how I can advance and how I can move forward in a healthy way that's going to help me, it's going to help my family, and it's going to help other people. And I think that, I think the biggest thing is just, it's okay. It's okay. And I have so many things written down here that I would say to myself just from this conversation. No problem. Yeah, you had a crappy time in that situation, or that didn't work out, or that was tough, or this was bad, or that, or this, or we all have that stuff. It's okay. Now let's move forward. Let's go have some success, Kristie. Let's stop living in the past. Let's stop living in fear and anxiety and depression and whatever you have going on, and let's step forward. And I think for me, it's okay to realize too that you might not have that success. If you're watching a video and somebody's like, I freaking hit 6 figures in 2 months and I can't even believe it, and it was a month, and you get all down on yourself and sad, because I've been there, guarantees other people have been there, right? It's okay. Yes, some people, you don't see what they went through. You don't see, like Dave was saying, all the things that happen. It's okay. We just got to keep taking it step by step, day by day, and moving forward. And that we have two choices. We either do that, or we sit down and we just watch and we never do anything. So those are the choices we have. What's the choice you're going to make? I'm tired, personally. I'm tired of being in a situation where I'm living broke and in fear, right? Who's tired of that? Like right here, like you're freaking tired of it. So let's take that day by day and make a change.
Yeah, I think many of us are tired of ourselves, It's
Yeah.
really, that's what it really boils down to.
That
And that's
narrative
hard
in
to
our head,
say.
right?
That's hard to say. That really
Yeah.
is. That's a hard, but that'll be the most empowering thing that you ever say to yourself, if you really admit that, okay, I really am my problem. Like,
Yeah.
and I am so tired of hearing myself make excuses
Yes.
and like ghost certain things, and then start something new over here, and then try that for a little while and give up, and then ghost that, and then come back over here. It's like, when we say and finally fully admit to ourselves that we are sick and tired of ourselves and the excuses that we make and the victim stance that we use, and the mindset of the procrastination, it is such a freeing, empowering thing, because then you realize that you're not powerless, but you are powerful. Because just as you have nearly dug your own grave for your entrepreneur dreams, you can also build a ladder out of that hole. And when you start to be humble enough to admit, oh, it's not everybody and everything around me that's put me here, it's me, people actually will want to go down in the hole and climb out with you and help you climb out. But nobody wants to help somebody who's like, you suck. This doesn't work. This is right. No, that's a ultra limited, ultra problematic attitude. And if you're pointing the finger, nobody's going to want to help you, because there's a good chance you'll just point the finger at the person who's trying to help you after you don't do anything with the information or the help, right? So again, we create all of our own self-fulfilling prophecies. We do. We speak things and act things into existence all day, every day. And that's why the no limit, no problem attitude is everything. Kristie, you've been a wonderful guest, mostly sitting here cheering me on as I rant this morning. And thank you so much for being such a great guest and just being so positive. I'm a little under the weather today, but for whatever reason, and I haven't taken any cold medicine. I'm raw dogging this cold here because we all know that you really just got to get through it. It's not you go to the doctor, they just tell you to go home and sleep it out. So I'm here. The nose is running, the throat's scratchy. Didn't sleep great last night, but it's no problem. It's no problem. And I'm damn sure not going to make it anybody else's problem. You know what I mean? It's no problem. It's no problem for me.
Battle.
Look at that. And we honestly create magic in some of the moments when we least feel up to it, when we're about to cancel on those social plans or that date. When we end up going, it always is the best time, instead of when we were all raring and ready to go, because then we had really high expectations and we didn't meet them or whatever. So it's just another example of no problem, no limit. If I would have said, hey, I'm sick today, I don't feel up to it, I would have put a limitation on what we could have created together here this morning. And instead, we have a really nice piece of work here that we've done together, talking about mindset, talking about this approach that is a fail-proof approach, really, in anything that you do, especially sales and marketing. And I hope that, here's what I know, you're going to take something powerful away from this. I am too. And I hope that somebody else does as well. Come back and see me, okay, Kristie? Keep me posted on your journey. Stay legendary, my friend. And tell Daniel I said hello.
I will. Bye, everybody. See you later.
See you. All right, my friends, you can go and follow Kristie over on TikTok and Instagram at Kristie the Affiliate 7. And that's Kristie, Kristie with a K. Okay, not a C. Kristie with a K. Kristie the Affiliate 7 over on TikTok and Instagram. What more is there to say, my friends? Dig into the training, learn the skills, and then apply the mindset that we've been talking about and create your own magic. Stop putting limitations on yourself. Stop putting problems on other people, and also acting like things are a problem to yourself, and have a no limit, no problem attitude, and watch your sales and your success soar, and also your happiness open up in ways that it didn't before, because now all of a sudden there's no limits and there's no problems. And again, we'll realize that we were the one that whole time. We'll want to punch ourselves in the head, because we'll realize that we were the one the whole time putting all those limitations and all those problems on us and on others around us. Get out of here, my friends. Stay legendary. I love you. Thank you for all the wonderful validation and feedback today. Of course, in the comments, you all are always so supportive and so kind. And I really appreciate that. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Peace.